It does look like it's better.
Okay. Okay, you're recording now? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm a state, Geneva clip. I'm from Stettin, and I was born here, and residential school for 12 years, but never lost culture. My great-grandmother was alive, my grandmother, and although I lost my mom at 14, my grandma stayed with us and made sure we still followed tradition and culture. So I drum and sing, my kids drum and sing, my grandchildren drum and sing. And the little commands in Ucwalmícwts, they know. Kapo, put on your coat, put on your hat. They all understand that. Nashaf, go. And Shima, come here. Michak, tafakui. They understand all those things because sometimes I forget and we're in a big crowd, rather than tell them to sit down, I'll say Michak, and they respond to it faster. I do use the language, and they realize that I'm getting stressed because I revert to the language when I'm stressed. Weird, I know, but that's me. So a lot of the language I've retained. I went to UBC. I was going to get a teaching degree in a previous life, and my dad, my pop, and my uncles were all my informants to help me with the linguistics for Ucwalmícwts and Ucwalmícwts. I helped with the Ucwalmícwts that they are teaching up in Northern. Laura Thavarge and Alice Adolph were the informants for that. But because I grew up with the language, when they were spelling words, I would sit in sometimes if I didn't have a class, I'd go sit in with them when they were writing words out, and would correct them when they weren't spelling them right. I'd look at them and go, that's wrong. They'd get really annoyed at me, the students, and then I'd have to tell Alice or Laura, you have to say it really slow so they can see your mouth. And then they go, oh, and they change the spelling. But that's part of what I did. My dad passed away while I was in my 3rd year, and I had all kinds of issues with UBC. They kept kicking me out. So I figured that was a sign. I'm out of here, and went and got my admin degree, and I've been the band manager here since 2008. And that's what I do for a living. I do language and whatnot for fun. So, yeah. But when Joyce first approached me, I was a little backwards, not real sure, but it's been fun. It's a different way of going about it. It seems to be easier for people to learn this way. But I figured that I noticed a lot of them are using the k or sound. So I was telling her they need to forget the alphabet. Like ABCs, no, this isn't the alphabet. This is the International Phonetic Alphabet. It was made up by linguists who made it easier, and the sounds start here and go all the way back your throat. The X and the G are way back here. So it just makes it easier if they understand that, rather than trying to say the C when they see it. It really annoys me when people say Ucwalmícwts. I'm going, no, it's Ucwalmícwts. And they look at me and go, oh. And even my granddaughter started picking it up, and I looked at her, I said, you know better than that. So, so I figured it might be easier if you learned your learn the speaking part, so that the alphabet that's used for language, rather than seeing, if you see it, your mind automatically reverts to ABC. So this is telling you, no, you can't do that. So this one starts with the alphabet on top, and somebody from Inshaksh must have put the words in there. So it's so that it focused on our language. So that's how it's set up. And you see the A is just the A, as in pala, and the 7 after is the glottal stop at the end. And you can feel it if you put your fingers here. When you say pala, you can feel that. You can feel that sound. Say oh, and you can really feel the glottal stop. And Kia is a spider. It's actually a daddy long leg spider. It's not just any spider, it's a daddy long leg spider. I had to look at it for a while and then message my sister and say, this isn't the word I remember for spider. And so I messaged it to her, and she messaged me back, said it's a daddy long legs, that's why. So yeah, I have one of my sisters is a language teacher in Mount Currie. So we all pretty much know the oo sound in pulaka for drum. It's sometimes you'll see the letters, but they'll have a different sound, but it's usually whatever's behind them. And the letters change sometimes the way it sounds, even though it looks like oo, and in another word it'll be different. It'll seem different, but it's only because your letters have brought it there. Ships is door, and it's just the sound. It sounds like a short I in the alphabet. And ka is also ow. It's the A and the O together, ow, as in awesome, which is sick, or so that it's like an ow sound. You sound both the A and the O, but together. And this is different. It's alel, uya. The I is the sound A, is the A sound. And there should be an A in front of that. It almost sounds like Alleluia. And kaso is pig. The O there is the first O, kaso. And the V is the sound, pashkat, which is hummingbird. It's short U. And chipun is the root cellar. The P is right at the beginning. Sometimes if you hear a speaker, it'll sound like they're saying B, but they're saying P instead of the P. It'll sound like a B sometimes when they talk really fast. There's been a lot of different people saying with the. Yeah, that's why it's called chipun. It's where food is stored. And I didn't hear this one before for horse. Tekiu. It's just that your tongue right at the behind your teeth. Tekiu. And the TS is a ch sound like chichtuch. It's a ch. and it's right behind too. Your tongue doesn't touch the back here. It's the sound you just explode. Ch-ch-ch. Kept is you're closer to the front of your mouth with the sound. Kept is cupboard, and it's just the way cupboard is in English, just shortened, just because that's the way it wasn't part of our language before. So, and the k is rounded. It means the W after a letter means it's rounded, meaning you're koopy, your mouth will round when you're saying the koopy. Eich is man, and if you go k, it's closer up. You can feel it on your tongue, but if you go eich, it's further back in your mouth. If you say it, eich, 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 kep is here, go eich, it's further back. You can feel it if you just try and get used to like the letters and the words. If you're not sure of how to say a word, like when they say chick, a lot of people were putting a Q, and it's not a Q, it's a K. And I always say the word, and then I put my fingers here and go say it again, and go, no, and then change it. Palutrin is a phone. As you can see, the Q is rounded. It's back here. You can palutrin. Right, hakwa. You can feel it. It's right behind the Q. Hakwa. Atsin is a net, and the apostrophe after the P is making it, it's not, you can feel a little burst of air there. And then the apostrophe after the TS makes it atsin. Takes a little while to get used to saying it to a point where you can say it properly, but atsin. Just make sure when you see the apostrophe after the P, your P is exploding. You can feel it. When you put your hand here, you go. And this is a funky, is canoe. The T, it's the TL. If it clicks your tongue here, your whole, you can hear the click. That's the sound, the T with the apostrophe. It actually should be a TL, apostrophe, but they shortened it to just the T because they said they just put a 7 after the exploded T. Awakam. Oh, awakam is, as I just explained earlier, the TS. It's, if you see it's notch. You put your and let it come out. In Kiap, you can hear the in Kiap is because the K is exploded. Anushtan is the Anushtan. You can feel it. Anushtan right here. Anushtan. The K is right here. The Q is further back. Took me a while to find that one. Achman is bridge. I'd never seen that one before. Achman. They're both, the T and the Q are Achman. So you can feel the Q here. And Ucwalmícwts is strawberry. It's one of the kids' favorite words to say. Ikhen is shoe. Chen meaning your foot goes in. Ikhen, shoe. I'd never seen it written before. Chesh is slingshot. This is a fun one that you just, the sound comes out. That button is cane. You put your tongue right up behind your teeth there, and then you just go, let the sound come out. Clow is the C, that's the C we were talking about. If you go and then you go low through, clow. There's no k in there. Oh. Oh, oh. Wak is heart. Wak. Hake is duck. Hake is duck. It's farther back in your throat, the X. Coaching is 4, the number. Coaching. We do it a little bit different than the Northern. They put an extra vowel in there. They say coaching. If you listen to them count, it's a little bit different. They have an extra vowel in.
Okay, Devin had a question.
I'm wondering how to pronounce the 7 in that word, because it seems like it's not there being pronounced.
Ho-chin, you feel it, ho-chin. Beginning, it's either at the beginning or at the end of a vowel. And it just makes the vowel harder, if you know what I mean. Ho-chin. Daumen is some of them say the sound, some say the Z sound. And it's your tongue kind of vibrating. Daumen. And it's usually, you don't usually really hear the sound, Daumen, when a speaker really speaks, because it's kind of really silent. It's the beginning of a word, but you have to really see the mouth when they're saying it. Ucwalmícwts, salmon, fish. You can see the Ucwalmícwts. The Z is more of a Z than Ucwalmícwts. Some of them say with the Z sounds Ucwalmícwts. Depends on who you're speaking with. Lamella is bottle. The L is just Ucwalmícwts is it's just a pencil or a pen. Ucwalmícwts. Ucwalmícwts is a snake. Ucwalmícwts. Crap is tree. Crap, it's way back here. Crap, crap. Heichman is tooth. It's way in the back too. It's a little bit hard. Heichman. And you notice that the I is changed because of how far back the G is. The sound is. Whelp is fire. Whelp. And it's round, the G is rounded. I never seen the T before Alwash before. And the P should be exasperated because it's Alwash. I've never seen the T in front of it before. Anybody that I've seen say it or watched write it, it's always began with the P, and the P is exasperated, Alwash. Yeah, Cha is woman. And compelment is something, holding something hot. Compelment.
And it's funny because it's got the stress on the L, but not,
Yeah.
it's not showing the stress in the word. Should it be there?
Compelment.
So there should be the stress on the L.
Yeah.
In the word.
Yes, that's why I chose it here. It should be in there.
Should be there too. Perfect.
Yeah.
Impalement.
Is mushroom, and when you see the M the M is sounded, it sounds like you're going, but there's no P on there. It's but it sounds like it. That's when it's exasperated. It sounds like there's a P there.
We learned that with Ucwalmícwts, right? Because it sounds like P, but there's no P.
Yeah.
Oh, oops, was that the last one? That was the last one. Excellent. How do I stop recording?